welcome to Pod Save the Queen. I'm your host Zoe Forsey, and we've got lots of fun things to talk about this week, including royal days out at Wimbledon, a fun outing for the Queen recognising our NHS heroes, and kind of a royal wedding. Joined as always by Russell Myers, our royal editor. How are you, Russ?
I'm very well. I hope you're not sweltering in the heat of this heat wave that is plaguing the nation. Although it's quite nice, actually. We should stop moaning about it.
It is very nice, but it is also a little bit uncomfortable. I think I'm on probably about 2 hours sleep for the last 3 nights. And before all our American listeners roll their eyes at us and do the say
of
that
course,
we can't cope with the heat.
It's about 70 degrees Fahrenheit and then everyone goes crazy. So, imagine living in Arizona or somewhere.
But I do still have the argument of the UK doesn't have air conditioning anywhere. And this is why I think we're allowed to complain about it a little bit. It's not like most homes in America where you can go into your nice, cool bedroom in the evening. We're all kind of,
tossing and turning with a desk fan. That's about our life at the moment, isn't it? And but this only lasts for about 3 days of the year. So, people will have to get used to it.
Make the most. And I've avoided sunburn so far this year, which is great. Are you pink yet, or are you still all right?
Factor 50. I'm factor 50 since I moved to the coast. You can't be too sure when the sun is going to come in, so I'm very careful these days. And I've turned 40, so when that happens, you're worried about how old you look anyway, I think. So.
Oh no, see, I'm still factor 50 all the time anyway, but I'm pale and ginger, which means that doesn't even help sometimes, so it's on all the time.
Well, you look positively radiant today.
Thank you very much. Good save. Thank you. Right. So we've had lots of, again, we said last week it feels very summery and it feels very nice, which is lovely. And another week pretty much the same, isn't it? And we saw the Queen and Charles were out yesterday. They were giving out some awards to our incredible NHS heroes, weren't they?
Well, they were, and this is the George Cross, which is such a prestigious award. I mean, it goes back right to instituted by the Queen's father, George VI, in September 1940, at the height of the Blitz. That he was he produced this medal sort of in recognition of acts of heroism or people who had displayed great courage in circumstances of extreme danger, and had normally recognised sort of the actions of military personnel, but then also civilians, not in the face of an enemy, I suppose. But then the announcement came sort of last year that it was going to be produced to the NHS as a whole body, and I think it's only the 3rd time that this has ever happened. And in order for that to happen, they had representatives from frontline workers from all the home nations, England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and they included a lady called May Parsons, who was the nurse who delivered the world's first COVID-19 vaccine outside the clinical trials, and that was to a lady called Maggie Keenan, delivered on December the 8th, 2020. I mean, it seems like an absolute lifetime ago, doesn't it? But I think that what was really important was for the Queen to recognise not only the incredible work of the NHS over the 7 decades of her reign, but also, as she put it, the amazing COVID-19 vaccine rollout. And she wanted to sort of put on record, I think, as part of the Platinum Jubilee year especially, I think it really recognises the fact that the nation is super grateful to the NHS. The National Health Service is the envy of the world, especially in countries with poor health systems or paid-for health systems. I mean, it's often a massive talking point in American politics, isn't it? And we sort of, that reverberates around back to the UK as well. And I'll just read you sort of a little bit about last July, which was the 73rd anniversary of the NHS's foundation. The Queen wrote sort of a message to the whole of the NHS, and this goes to everyone from the cleaners, the porters, the surgeons, the NHS frontline workers in the emergency rooms, everybody who helped keep the country on track. And the Queen said, "It is with great pleasure on behalf of a grateful nation that I award the George Cross to the National Health Service of the United Kingdom. This award recognises all the NHS staff, past and present, across all disciplines and all 4 nations over more than 7 decades, and especially in recent times. You have supported the people of our country with courage, compassion, and dedication, demonstrating the highest standards of public service. You have our enduring thanks and heartfelt appreciation. And I couldn't have put it better myself. Actually, I didn't realise that it was for past and present. So this encompasses, you know, all of the people who have worked in the NHS, and there must be many, many hundreds of thousands of people, and no better deserving group of individuals and collective people who have just kept our country going in these quite bizarre times of late.
Yeah, I was the same. I thought it was just people who'd worked during the pandemic, but I think what the last few years has done has made people really aware of what doctors, nurses, paramedics, everyone, you know, all these different bodies kind of within the organisation do. And so it was really nice to see them all recognised. And we had some lovely official photos, weren't there? We had kind of the Queen and Charles with all the different representatives around, which was lovely, and it just looked like a really nice day. And
yes, it didn't last too long. I mean, I was quite impressed that the Queen was able to stand. She looked very radiant. She looked happy. It was only, I mean, literally a sort of 5-minute ceremony before the cameras got kicked out. But the Queen was standing without her trusty walking stick that we've seen her using on with sort of increased frequency of late. But, you know, Prince Charles sort of standing in the background, supporting his mother, supporting the role of the monarch. I think we're obviously seeing that an awful lot more, aren't we? And I think that the Queen is sort of really focused on doing maybe the bigger jobs. There was definitely, I think we spoke last week about the changing aspect of the Queen's role that had been put in the sovereign grant for the first time ever. And I can't quote verbatim from the report, but it was almost saying that there was really no jobs that the monarch had to do. There was obviously, she would do the meeting and greeting of world leaders, but there was no necessity to do the big businesses of state, I suppose, anymore. And that, you would imagine, will pass over to Charles and William. Obviously, we saw at the state opening of Parliament. And yeah, I do think it is a bit of a changing of the guard, but nice to see the Queen out and about and looking fine and healthy before her summer holidays, where she will be off very soon, no doubt.
And so the Queen did the kind of NHS side of it, but there were also lots of, obviously, all investitures are really exciting and really interesting, but there were lots of big names that we saw, and it was Charles that headed those up, wasn't he? And who were handed over the titles. So who did we have? We had the diver Tom Daley, who got his. It was for lots of reasons, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, his list was really, I mean, it's not only for his sporting prowess. Obviously, he's an Olympic gold medalist now, a bronze medalist back in 2012? I mean, he's been at the top of his game for so long. But really for his charity work, for his activism, for the LGBTQ plus community. So he is, I mean, he's a really, really incredible individual. And I mean, what a CV, incredible.
And there was also Martin Lewis, who is very well known in the UK. He's basically a money-saving expert is his kind of, you know,
his tagline.
He goes with, and he basically has done so much work. What he does is he tells people in Britain how to save money. He's got a website, but he's now become a real kind of talking head on issues of how people can save money, and especially with the cost of living crisis that the UK is currently facing. He's become a real source of support and has saved lots of people who are really struggling to pay bills and to buy food, much needed cash at the moment. So it was really nice to see him recognised as well. And we spoke about Wimbledon last week, but Kate was back at Wimbledon for the kind of second, you know, the end part of the tournament, the exciting part. Well, it's all exciting, but the very exciting part. So she was solo at the women's final on Saturday. She was in a bright yellow custom-made dress by, I'm going to say this wrong, Roxanda, which is one of the ones she actually wore for the Caribbean tour earlier this year, which Scott and I spoke about quite a lot because it got quite a small showing. She wore it for an airport arrival, but we didn't get to see a flight.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes. It was nice for it to get like a proper, the showing it deserves, because it's a beautiful dress. So it's got kind of a wrap top, and it's a custom made one, but there's a similar version on the website which doesn't have sleeves, which is guess the price tag on this, Russ.
£1 million.
Yes, spot on. Well done, you nailed it.
I don't know. I mean, how much is it? 500 quid?
£1,000, £1,095. So not a bargain one. So even more glad that she wore it out again, because that's one that definitely
recycled. You got to recycle.
Well, I'm just going to say this, and I know you're going to mock me for it, for saying that she recycles it. But I said last week she's recycling stuff a lot closer together. She's not normally, she rewears something from 4 years ago, but to wear something twice within a few months, I think is really interesting, and I think is showing her, they're making more of an effort to rewear stuff.
Well, we're all feeling the pinch. There's a cost of living crisis, and if you can't wear an £1,100 dress twice, I mean, gosh.
Exactly. And so she had some other celeb pals in the royal box with her. So there was Tom Cruise, who we seem to be seeing an awful lot of Tom Cruise.
Do you know what? There was more celebrities than actually normal people. It was absolutely extraordinary. I know that the All England Club like to get a bit of glam, and that's fine, but it was just incredible. There was Ellie Goulding, Tom Cruise. I saw the chap who plays Spider-Man. What's his name?
Yeah. Tom Holland?
Maybe him, yeah. There was lots of
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield. Thank you, Dan. See,
Tom Holland was Spider-Man as well, though, wasn't he?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, I think I saw him as well. I mean, you would imagine he's pretty A-list. He's pretty A-list.
If not, I'm sure he got an invite, even if he couldn't make it. Let's go with that. But yeah, that was a great game. And obviously she presented the trophy as well, which is really good. But the kind of main day that got everyone excited was the Sunday, because, of course, she went along with Prince William. And Prince George made his Wimbledon debut as well, which was really nice.
I know, poor chap. I was discussing during the week, because obviously the Royal Box has a dress code, and you have to wear a tie and a very smart suit, but it was pretty hot on Sunday. Both the days were lovely, but Sunday was pretty hot, and he was probably hot under the collar, poor chap. But he seemed to be having a good time. I like the fact that people are asking Kate about where were the other kids, and she's saying, this was George's treat, because he's the one who plays tennis. Apparently, he's been playing tennis since he was 5, and he's 8 now. So he's probably. I mean, if you can't be good at tennis and your mum is the patron of the LTA, I mean, you're probably going to be struggling a little bit. But he seemed to have a jolly good time. It was a good match. Djokovic beat Nick Kyrgios from Australia, who was, he was his usual combative self, I think is putting it mildly. But I liked the touch of when they met Novak in sort of the players' lounge after the match, and he let George hold the trophy, and you could see Kate very nervously sort of hanging next to him, putting her arm around the trophy almost, because it's obviously the lid, you would imagine, comes off.
Yeah,
so she didn't want him to drop
up, didn't she? Of like, oh god, the lid comes off, and I think it started off as, do you want to touch it? And which I imagine Kate and Will's like, okay, that's fine, and then all of a sudden he was being, and it's a big trophy, but when you see a child hold it, I was like, it's half the size of him, and he definitely got. I think Will said, "Don't drop it," which I really enjoyed, which was cute. And also, Kate said that Louis now started playing tennis as well, which is cute. So we're going to have all of them. Oh, they could be. Yeah, we could have like a Williams sister set up in the future.
Could you imagine? Yeah. Well, I think Williams already said he wanted him to play up front for Aston Villa and do the royal gig, so he's got to take a toss up between football and tennis. But
a very, very busy diary.
Pretty much, but no, lovely, nice to see. Always love Wimbledon, and I think again we're seeing the kids come out a bit more. I mean, they sort of had a big, quite front and centre role, didn't they, at the Platinum Jubilee? Is this a thing to come? It's interesting because people I've spoken to at the Palace said, listen, don't expect the kids to be doing more. I mean, we might see them pop up. I think it will be at big family events, Christmas time. We might see them at a show or something like that. But I don't think we're going to see them doing sort of regular engagements. But it's interesting how they are being more introduced. And I've often thought this about what on earth goes through those children's minds when they're standing on the balcony and there's like a million people in front of them and a fly past and, their great granny is the Queen. How on earth do we explain it to them? Because, young kids have it is difficult to sort of understand what people do for a living and how society works, I suppose. But then when you're looking out to that sea of people at the Platinum Jubilee. It must have been absolutely extraordinary. But they seem pretty well-rounded children from the outset, and people who know them and know the family say they are, for all intents and purposes, almost in inverted commas, but they live a pretty normal life. And I think that's a testament to how William and Kate have made efforts to, drop them off at school, to be there for pickup, not do massive foreign tours. I mean, I think if they went to Australia, they'd have to take the children because they wouldn't want to be away for that amount of time. So yeah, I think they're doing pretty well, the Cambridge kids.